Motaosane, member for Tamarak-Morgan.
Good afternoon, Mr. Speaker. Thank you. Question number 7.
Honorable Minister of Finance, Your Honor, the Vice President.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, Honorable Member of Parliament, Motaosane. Your question is a question to be given an insight as to what the government has collected in revenue between November 24 and June 25. And also you want to know what government has spent over the same period. You also want to know what the components of that collection are. It would have been simple to give you the figures. I have the figures. But I suspected that you needed more than just figures. I suspected that in your spirit of patriotism, what you really wanted to understand was whether the financial situation of the country is worsening, or whether there is cause for hope. So there's a long document here written, which I will summarize for you. So what we have done for you, Honorable Member of Parliament, instead of giving you a figure of 24-25 for revenues collected, we have given you figures since 2019-2020, same period, up to now, same period. Suffices to say that the revenue collected between November and June is 47 billion, 47.352 billion, which is an improvement from 40 billion over the same period in the previous year. So there has been an improvement. So there is reason to have hope that even though we are experiencing difficult financial circumstances, there is hope, there is a glimmer of hope. Then in terms of it has to be mentioned that for the year 24-25 and the year 23-24, these are preliminary. They are preliminary in the sense that there still has to be formal reconciliations. So you have to take it in that spirit. In terms of the components of those collections, mineral revenue in particular in the current year for the period that you have asked, just over 8 billion compared to 3.4 billion in the previous year. SACU revenue is almost 13 billion compared to about the same figure in the previous year. Non-mineral income tax in this year has gone down to about 8.5 billion from 14.7 billion. And that is a reflection of the depressed economic conditions of our private businesses. VAT has gone up to about 8.9 billion compared to 7.2 billion in the previous year. And then there is a component called other income. And this other income includes profits from Bank of Botswana, licenses, and so on. This year is about 8.7 billion compared to 1.7 billion. Another improvement. Those are in terms of the in terms of the components in collections. When I move over to expenditure, what does the expenditure, where is the expenditure and what does it reflect? Whether there is reason to have hope or reason to be depressed. In the current year, between November and June, we have spent just over 52.6 billion pula. Same period last year, we had spent more. We had spent 58.17 billion pula. This means we have spent less. This means, again, there's reason to have hope. But let it be cautious hope. Let it be cautious hope. That is the summary of your questions. But as I say, they have prepared a corpus magnum for you, a proper analysis over the last 6 years. It has gone into detail. It has even gone into detail around explanations, including explaining the over expenditures, particularly the offending year is particularly the year 23-24. That is the year where a lot of things got out of control. And part of the explanation, obviously there are many explanations, but part of the explanation has to be the fact that the GABS system was almost dysfunctional, and that allowed a lot of things to come out of hand. A lot of ministries overspent by a big margin. And you will note that ever since the GABS system has been fixed, as of last year, November, that is part of the explanation why there has been marked, observable improvement, in addition to other austerity measures, in addition to other factors. So if I have to answer your question in general, because you asked this question obviously concerned about the future of the country, my answer would be that the economic and financial circumstances are still difficult, but there is reason to have hope, because collections have improved, but also we have certainly contained expenditure if you have to compare particularly with the previous year. Thank you, Member of Parliament. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Supplementary.
Supplementary, Motaosane.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, Honourable Minister. And I would really appreciate that answer in a written form so that I can have a look at it. Me wane ke leboge ka ho buang ka teng ke tshwenyegile go gong ha segolo bogolo re o buang thata ka the level at which re hukuditseng expenditure ka teng. The question is this expenditure hukutsegileng, is it in the recurrent budget or on the development budget, or both? If part of it is in the development budget, are we holding on to some projects di tshwanetseng ka be di dirwa kana horaing? I'm a bit worried because a number of companies are crying gore ga ba duele. They have done some works. Me ga ba duele. Isn't this reduction of the expenditure because of non-payment of our suppliers, our other issues? Say the Honourable Minister has just answered a question. kolota batho bangwe madi ala a rileng le ha gona a hokutsegile from a neng a le teng a ga se gore mme re tshwere batho ka mo metso ka go leka go hokotsa our expenditure level. Finally, Mr. Honorable Minister, ke itumela thata ka ha o netlang ka especially the tax collection. Although I'm not yet fully happy ka our VAT collection. Ka re ke dumela gore batho ba bantsi bogolo ya di company tse di shop tsa batho ba ba le tsola la Asia o kare nako e ntsi tota ba tila le kgetho ka ditsela tse di hakamatsang. What modalities have you put in place to try and maximize the VAT collection go go bone batho ba ba tshwana le ba di shopotse? Ke a leboga, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
Honourable Vice President, Minister of Finance.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, Honourable Member of Parliament. You have asked, I'm not sure whether it's a nuanced question or it's many questions, but I'll do my best to answer your question. Well, the reductions have been at both the development expenditure and recurrent expenditure, even though the expenditure on wages has actually gone up because of the 5% adjustments and the pensions. You have to keep in mind that some of those reductions, as I have already indicated, in the previous years, there were a lot of inflated costs and over expenditures. So some of the cutting is cutting on the fat and cutting on the unnecessary. But it has to be admitted that there is also cutting at the bones as well. And there is a reason why we have had to cut at the bones as well. We've had to cut at the bones as well because, as we have already indicated, the previous year, 23-24, was the offending year. A lot of what we are paying for and the invoices that we are paying for past sins in a major way. And a lot of the shortages that you find in the system have to do with paying for past sins. And we don't have the luxury of dipping into foreign reserves per se. But what you say is absolutely true, that the circumstances that we find ourselves is that we will have no choice, as we haven't been having choice in some areas where we find that we cut at the bones as well. The tax collection, you are absolutely correct that despite the fact that there has been an improvement in tax collection, it is far from where we desire it to be. In fact, I would put it to you that our plan is to revolutionize our tax collection, partly through digitalization. And you will see in the emergency VAT legislation that I hope you will agree to, that some of the things that we propose, because they have to be done immediately, is we are missing out on collection from online transactions, for instance. We are missing out collecting from cash businesses, including the businesses that you have indicated. So we are fixing the laws in order to be able to better collect in a modern economy. And as time unfolds, you will also find out that there is a very comprehensive strategy to significantly revolutionize, not even improve, revolutionize the way we collect tax. So thank you, Mr. Member.
Further supplementary.
Point of order.
Procedure.
Last supplementary, Honorable Leader of Opposition.
Procedure.
President. And the first supplementary to the Kopo, given the importance of the question to the performance of the economy, if you could be kind enough to share a soft copy of the response with all the members of Parliament. But I have two supplementary questions. The 2023-2024 financial year, EU Kasokoring was the offending year, given the collapse of GABS. Amegone, agagona gore bodiredi jo bo golwane mo pusong bo irile dio dingwe for lack of a better word ba dirile dio dingwe botlhaswa mo ba ka tseelwang dikgato ka gore go thata go dumela gore accounting officer o ka latlhegelwa ke lesedi la gore expenditure e tsamaya kae ya re lo le mo go 50 million lo setse ka 5 a bo ithala go go saenetse another 25. Did accounting officers really apply themselves? Lona lo ira eng go bona gore ke baahe ba ile gore ba ka tswa ba sa ira tiro a bone le go tsaya dikgato because go sa tsaya tiro ka tlhoagalo go tshwanetse go nne le ditlamorago ga re ke ra nna re ke goromente o hitileng bo PS ke bona ba neng ba tsaya ditshwetso nako yone they are the accounting officers. And then the second one and the last one ke gore tautona na ntsha taelo ya gore 50% ya ditaemane tse di sa rekong di be di rekilwe by end of July. Re mo go August go rae mo letsenong la puso o sologetse bokae morago ga tautona ntsha taelo ya gore di be di rekisitswe ka July re sologetse bokae mo sepatšheng.
Mr. Speaker, thank you, Mr. Lu. I will make the soft copies available, indeed. You suggest the idea that despite the fact that 23-24 is the offending year, it has to be true that senior officers, at least some senior officers, need to be made accountable, that somebody may have acted irresponsibly, or a subset of people may have acted irresponsibly. This is actually correct. I have no doubt in my mind that certain individuals or a certain subset of individuals have acted irresponsibly. What is it that we are doing, or what is it that we have done to bring these people to account or to book? In fact, there has been action taken, some of it taken by the PPRA. There have been instances where acts of irresponsibility have revealed themselves, and some of those companies have been knocked out of the system. There have been several actions taken. There are other government processes in motion, including the forensic, including the normal government audit, which processes will lead to potential action. So you will note that acts of responsibility differ. There are some which have already been taken. There are some which require certain types of evidence, and there are processes to unearth some of that evidence. But we have to agree with you that there is no way that what has happened cannot be partly attributable to acts of irresponsibility. You are inclined, I must say, Mr. LOO, that you listen to the President very carefully, and you have chosen me in particular to answer to those. Well, there are a number of components to answering that question. We believe that the diamond market is on the precipice of improvement. And we believe that prices will improve, the markets will improve, and we are expecting additional revenues over the next few years, next few months. As to exactly what that will amount to, I can't say now. But as I indicated when I tried to answer your question last time, the diamond market is a peculiar market. So there are currently sit-downs with the Ministry of Minerals to see how best DBS can come to the party and ensure that the diamonds are sold, because there are many ways of doing it. One of the ways of doing it is for DBS to buy them, to buy at least a good portion and keep them and not flood the market with them. There are different ways, and all those are being looked into to see what the best solution is. Exact figure I can't say, but I am hopeful that there will be an observable improvement in diamond revenues. Well, end of July, I would not say that there is a figure that I can concretely confirm and say that has been achieved. But I do know that in the near future, we certainly are hoping, positively and concretely hoping for improved diamond sales. Thank you.